यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Srila Guru Deva. Gaur Premanandi. Shishikorantai Mayapur Sashi Ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. Warm welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us in this beautiful garden. Huh? Smells so nice. Thank you for joining us in this study of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Specifically again, 9th Canto, Chapter 4, text 22 onwards, and we'll be seeing, 22 onwards, and we'll be seeing Ambarish Maharaja's pastime. The chapter is entitled Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni, so we'll see the pastime will slowly open up. Say. Shrimad Bhagavatam is what? Prem Bhakti Prasud, Prem Bhakti Udgar, Prem Bhakti Upadesh. Prasud meaning origin, the source, opening up. So it is the Prem Bhakti Prasud. It opens, one who takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, one who comes under the care, under the love and care, say. One who holds Srimad Bhagavatam to his heart, to his chest, will love will awaken within his heart. Prem Bhakti Prasud, Prem Bhakti Udgar. Love will awaken and one will learn how to glorify as well. It is a fact we can never glorify to our heart's content. We should always strive to, try to, aim to, desire to glorify to our heart's content. Glorifying Shrimad Bhagavatam, glorifying devotees, glorifying this such pure, neat Vaishnava culture. We should really hanker to glorify, but we can never glorify to our heart's content. That is Krishna consciousness. So Prem Bhakti Prasud, Prem Bhakti Udgar, this expression of pure love. Bhagavatam, practicing Krishna consciousness, many things will change in our life, as in many things will uh, go ultimately towards transcendence. And one of the thing is our speaking language. The world population 8.45 billion, something around that. How many people, and especially those in male body, most of them in male body, it's a good thing in the society because of, say, womanhood. There is some decency, some culture also in the society. Say. Many men around the world, they use abusive language, swearing language, poor, low language. No? But someone practicing Krishna consciousness and doing japa and all won't use any abusive language or swearing or low language. And anyways, that is not the thing what Krishna consciousness gives. Rather, it gives us this pure language, Prem Bhakti Udgar. No? Purely to our heart, we won't again to our heart's content, we cannot glorify, but we would want to, as much as our consciousness allows, say, to glorify this message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is loving, unconditional, unmotivated, loving, devotional service unto Lord Shri Krishna. And whenever we say Krishna, whenever we say Shri Krishna, it is implied, it should be implied, it should be understood. Us practicing sadhakas, what do we mean? We mean Radha Krishna. Whenever we say Krishna, we mean Radha Krishna only. God is one. uh, God is one, so split in two. Hmm? Radha Krishna एक आत्मा दुई देह धरी अन्य अन्य विलसने रसास्वादन करी. God is the only independent, capable authority. Na? So who can stop God if he wants to split into, say? Who can check? So Srimad Bhagavatam is this Prem Bhakti, Prasud Prem Bhakti, Udgar Prem Bhakti, Updesh. Updesh is highly required for us in life. Updesh meaning instructions. Tremendously needed. We cannot grow in life unless we are given some direction, some instructions. So Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives us, it will shower our heart with love, make our heart blossom with love, take us to the origin of our source, take us to the origin of love altogether, help us glorify, experience love. So much of struggle in society, and more so on the mental platform. We struggle to give love and we struggle to receive love also in Krishna conscious sense. So, this culture of Srimad Bhagavatam will help us to understand love, understand the origin of love, be in that relationship, and what help us glorify the Lordship. There's no higher joy in this world than speaking about Krishna or listening about Krishna. Japa is what? Calling to Krishna. Na? Japa is a direct phone call to Krishna without any network interruptions. Hmm? Completely free as well. Japa is what? Talking with God. Japa is talking with Krishna. So there is no higher joy in life than speaking about Krishna or listening about Krishna in the association of devotees. No highest joy. No higher. That is Krishna consciousness. So with this prayer, with this desire, with this mood, aim, aspiration, yearning, longing, somewhat cry, somewhat sincerity, somewhat desire, somewhat intensity, somewhat enthusiasm, somewhat willingness, somewhat keenness, somewhat desperation, somewhat hankering, somewhat prayer. We continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam. We study the character of Ambarisa Maharaj. We see from text 22. इजे स्वयमेधेर यदि अधियज्ञानम् ईश्वरं महाविभूतयो दोक्षिणे ततेर्वैशिष्टशिता गौतमादिभिर्धन्वनि अभिश्रोतम् असौ सरस्वतीम्. Translation: in desert countries where there flowed the river Saraswati, Maharaj Ambarish performed great sacrifices, like the Ashwamedha Yajna, and thus satisfied the master of all yajnas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such sacrifices were performed with great opulence and suitable paraphernalia, and with contributions of dakshina meaning charity, to the Brahmanas, who were supervised by great personalities like Vasishta, Asita, and Gautama, representing the king, the performer of the sacrifices. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपां बुधिर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we see the character, the sublimity, the pastime of Srila Ambarish Maharaj. So far what we have seen is Ambarish Maharaj, the king of the entire world, uh, and very Krishna conscious king. And as we see, performing austerities. Like one thing is a must, as like when we started with Dhruva Maharaj's pastime as well, right? Uh, it was so heart pleasing for fourth canto, chapter 8, and I believe the very first text kind of sets a bit of a tone, a foundation, as in what is the criteria or eligibility for someone to really relish Shrimad Bhagavatam. So, if we remember correct, fourth canto, chapter 8, text 1, it spoke something on the life of celibacy, of the four sons of Lord Shiva Brahma, Lord Brahma's four sons. And in here as well, Ambarish Maharaj's pastime we see, ninth canto, 4th chapter, text 1. Here also it says, mm, here it says, na, in the shloka it says, Brahmacharinam Agatam, Naistike, perpetual. In the purport we see, na, Brihad Brahmachari Vrata, Brihad Vrata, this big vow. So, someone to really see the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, na? Srimad Bhagavatam, they are completely pure. Completely pure. Lord Krishna is completely pure. So, for us also to experience that rasa, that joy, that mellow in practicing Krishna consciousness, we have to become pure. Pure in our thoughts, in our desires, pure in our eyesight, in our vision, definitely must. Two things in good association we can attain. We can attain Krishna na, in good association. What is then left? Nothing is left. And only in good association though. So, what two things to help us advance in Krishna consciousness furthermore, or to come to a stage of sanity, or to come to a stage of stability? uh, in our intelligence there should be no fault in our intelligence. We carry a lot of fault in our intelligence, meaning in our thinking and all, very critical minded, very fault minded and all, very judgmental, very ranking, comparing, no good. So what quality in inspiring good association we can aspire, we can pray, we can cry to desire to have this quality of what? Unassuming. If we can live a unassuming life, we'll be very peaceful. What does unassuming mean? Unassuming. If we can live an unassuming life, then we are practicing the philosophy. What does unassuming mean? So we can check out what unassuming means. If we can live an unassuming life, that will be like the practical, the living the philosophy. Krishna says na in Bhagavad Gita, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunicheva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. If 18, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that a learned man, who is a learned man, who sees everyone with equal vision, be a dog, be a elephant, be a dog eater, be a priest, a brahmana, businessman, whosoever, he sees everyone with equal vision. Treatment, Krishna does not say he treats everyone equally. No, we cannot treat everyone equally. That will be bonkers a bit. If we treat the way we treat, say, humans, if we treat lion in that way, crazy. No, but with equal vision, as in, well, I am a spirit soul, potential pure devotee of Krishna. He or she is also a pure, potential pure devotee of Krishna, maybe in a lion body or whatever body, but deep down, everyone is a potential pure devotee of Krishna. So that unassuming, if we can be unassuming, if we can free ourselves from being the critical, from being the critic. Mind is the, they say, na, mind is the unemployed, unengaged, unwanted critic. A conditioned mind is the unemployed, unengaged, unwanted critic. But if we are nicely engaged, if we are nicely employed, if we are nicely focused in Krishna consciousness, we do not want any gossips in life, we do not want any chit chats, criticisms, and all. So, one thing, practicing Krishna consciousness, we need to pray, we need to aspire, we need to uh, desire, bring our mindset. And this will come actually naturally in very good association. If we are relishing our association, we will go unassuming, meaning non judgmental, not fault finding. So, that thing we need not be fault finding. Uh, if at all we have to find fault, it is with ourselves only, not with someone else. It is with ourselves only, which we struggle to do. Another thing is this: in our intelligence, we should be unassuming, non judgmental. That doesn't mean that we do not discriminate. We do discriminate. Krishna says, na, Vidya sees in equal vision. Vision wise equality, but that doesn't mean treatment is the same. So, what? There has to be discrimination. We discriminate between a cow and a tiger. Hmm? So, we discriminate between someone who is envious and someone who is favorable in Krishna consciousness. Uh, the treatment has to be different, but in our hearts we should not be holding animosity. So this, how can we be non-judgmental, unassuming in our consciousness, in our intelligence? That is to be learned, or hopefully it comes naturally in good divine association. Another, in our vision. Vision meaning in our eyes also. In our vision, there has to be no this similar lines. In our vision there has to be no this dvesh. Dvesh meaning no envy or no desire to load it over material nature in our vision. See, when we take prasadam, when we see prasadam, we first relish, honor prasadam, or say eat. We first relish, honor through our eyes only. Na? We first see. And then we say, okay, I want more of this, less of that. And as we see, the hunger develops and all. So in our practice, now this seeing has to be purified. This seeing, we should, when we see, we have to come out of this naturally. It has to come out of this tendency of material sense enjoyment, material sense gratification. How we look towards women, how we look towards children, how we look towards elderly and others. That has to be seen very much. And in the natural progression, in the natural elevation, in the natural continuation, say, excellence in our Krishna consciousness, naturally we will become unassuming and naturally we will have this vision that we are not exploitative in our thoughts also. Mm, we are not exploitative. So, point being, who can take on the message of Shrimad Bhagavatam? One who is asexual, it is a must. One who is free from sex desire. One has to be free from sex desire. Otherwise, it cannot work. Na? These pastimes are completely pure. And if in my heart I am harboring some, say, lusty desires, if in my heart I am hankering for some name, fame, if in my heart there is any bit of competitiveness, if in my heart there is any bit of this uh, ranking, comparison, any of these things, the two are incompatible. They won't come about. And this is not how we serve Shrimad Bhagavatam. A natural relish, a desire has to obtain to see Krishna. And when we are in good association, we will be hungry, hungry for God. That hunger has to be developed. So we have to go asexual, lust free. Our vision has to be, we have to see and aim only and only for the shelter of the divine lotus feet of the divine couple. So that we have to give up this business of exploiting, even in the mode of goodness. See, four regulations sadhaka follows, na? No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. This I am trying to help myself understand only. I am trying to help myself educate only. There's no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. Okay, no meat eating, fine, there's replacement, take prashadam. Hmm? Eat, take prashadam. Then, no meat eating, there is replacement, take prashadam. No gambling, there is replacement, do not gamble, study shastras, get purified intellectual appeal, study shastras. Then no intoxication. Give up intoxication and do chanting, do kirtan. Become intoxicated in the holy name. Huh? But this no illicit sex, illicit or even licit. mm, No illicit sex does not give one a license to engage or say indulge or in illicit sex. So this altogether has to vanish, flush out from our system. Since eternity, we have been exploiting material nature. Now, in good association, we can serve. We can serve the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us see furthermore. Text 23. In the sacrifice arranged by Maharaja Ambarisa, the members of the assembly and the priest, especially Hota, Udgata, Brahma, and other view, were gorgeously dressed, and they all looked exactly like demigods. They eagerly saw to the proper performance of the yajna. The citizens of the state of Maharaj Ambarish were accustomed to chanting and hearing about the glorious activities of the personality of Godhead. Thus they never aspired to be elevated to the heavenly planets, which are extremely dear even to the demigods. This is how a king should be, isn't it? He should be uh, helping, facilitating us that how to lead our life in a way that we are in a pravritti mark, say, in an excellence way, uh, gradual, say, we are moving forwards towards spiritual kingdom, towards establishing, towards aiming for transcendental spiritual consciousness. That is how. And that scope, that possibility is there, in the sense we need not depend. Krishna consciousness is not dependent on anyone. See, the movement, the process is completely non-sectarian. Yeah? Relish will come about when we practice Krishna consciousness in a non-sectarian way. There will be real friendship can only be had in a non-sectarian way. If we are filled with any sectarian thoughts, any sectarian beliefs, ideas and all, within devotional community, outside of devotional community and all, then we cannot really get into becoming attached with Krishna. See, there are 9 stages. Our acharyas tell us what 9 stages in bhakti. What begins with faith. Then, in good faith, one associates with devotees. Then, when one associates with devotees, he engages in chanting, reading, hearing, doing services. Then, what happens as a result of engaging in devotional service? Anarth nivarti, that which is unwanted, things which are unwanted from the heart, they will leave the heart. They will go away. Will free from unwanted things, desires, thoughts, everything in the heart. So once free from unwanted or getting more and more freed means more and more purified, what conviction will come about? Oh yes, the process works actually. Will be very convinced. Conviction will come about. When convinced, will practice with interest. Then yes, huh? And there will be a natural interest in the practice of Krishna consciousness. Until that natural interest awakens, it is a push to wake up early in the morning. It is a push to study. It is a push to do japa. It is a push. So many mental thoughts come and drain us down. But when we are naturally interested, well, what's the point? Even if I slept late or what, even if it's cold or windy or dark or something. When naturally interested, we'll do it. Such thoughts won't let us down, won't entertain. And in order to come to that natural interest, there has to be strong conviction. Yes, convinced. No? Convinced. This Krishna consciousness conviction has to go so strong, say so strong. How many hands do we have? 2 hands. Right? Are we convinced we have 2 hands? We are convinced we have 2 hands, right? No one can shake us up. No one. That you don't have 2 hands, you have 3 hands or four or one. No, convinced. So even stronger conviction in Krishna consciousness has to be developed. So when we are convinced, then naturally their interest will be there. And we have seen the process work now. For us, Kali Yuga, the biggest like conviction is, oh wow, I was carrying so much of filth in my heart and I'm getting through it. Oh, I've never experienced this joy. I've drank alcohol, I've drank tea, coffee. But when now I'm drinking the holy name, oh, this nectar I've never experienced. So that when we experience this, when some unwanted things go off our heart, lusty desires and all, then a conviction comes. And then when convinced, we do with interest, yes. And then after performing devotional service in interest, with deep interest, say with interest, comes a stage of attachment. We become attached to the process. Uh, Attachment, and then after attachment comes bhav, emotions, feelings, cry. Say. And after emotions, bhav, feelings, cry, sentiments, very deep, very, very deep, comes what? Prem, love, love. So these are the stages in practicing Krishna consciousness, in loving devotional life, in spiritual life. Now, acharyas have outlined us these stages, and these are all scientific. And whatever stage we are, whatever journey we are, we experience all of these 9. Say, We cannot say we don't experience nine. The see slight bit of faith is definitely needed to begin with. Then with faith we associate with devotees. And as we start associating devotees, all these other stages simultaneously start functioning. They simultaneously start working. They simultaneously, as if you press one buttons and so many other buttons, so many other lights and all come about. Huh? So in that way, not sure if you have been to pubs or discos, but not sure. There's something called as pubs and discos, wherein there's this something like spotlight and something like disco light. I'm sure you don't know any of this, but just saying. Um, yeah, there's a place like disco and pubs. Again, I'm sure you don't know any of this, but just saying. So evening time, the setting is like this: one light comes on, another light comes on from this side, and all. Mm. So that ways, when we experience some in some faith, we associate with devotees, and what happens simultaneously? Associating with devotees simultaneously, we do japa. Simultaneously, we get rid of unwanted things. Simultaneously, we become convinced. Simultaneously, we develop a taste of wow, this is amazing. This works. Huh? Way much better than taking a pill from NHS. This works way much better than taking a medicine for sleeping pill or sleeping chai. This works so nice. And then we develop an interest as well simultaneously. And simultaneously we become attached to attending the morning program, Mangalarti, Japa, study and furthermore. And simultaneously we develop some bhav. Simultaneously we develop experience also some love. Although the intensity of experiencing love, the intensity of bhav and all could well be very low, very minute, uh, very low, very minute, but it is still there. Now, how again in good association only we can see in these stages also, na, it is a big jump to come to level of conviction. Big jump. Level of conviction to interest is a jump again. Or coming to the stage of interest, ruchi, is a big jump, is a big distance. Uh, from faith to associating with devotees to practicing Krishna consciousness to getting rid of unwanted things and to getting convinced and interest, having developing an interest, a real interest. Not interest means then it's not weather dependent. Interest means then it's not any other thing dependent. Say. Hmm? So having that coming to a stage of interest is a long distance. But the longest distance is from developing a good real interest to attachment. That's the longest distance. Uh, and in this human form of life, we have to pray for minimum attachment. Minimum. Unless we are attached to Lord, unless we are attached to service of the Lord, unless we are attached to the joy of the divine couple, hardly any progress made. Sir. Hardly any progress made. Hardly any tangible progress made. Attachment is something we crave for, we should be praying for, craving for. And it is only in attachment that then we will lose sight of this world. Only in attachment. Otherwise, we will be dragged by this world. Otherwise, definitely will be dragged by this world. So, from interest to attachment is a big journey. But in good association, we can come there. We have to come there. This mood we have to build, we have to prepare. And when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, this will come about. So, yes, so the citizens of the state governed by Maharaj Ambarish, they were accustomed to chanting and hearing about the glories. Nothing like new as such. Nothing like, okay, big change or this. No. Naturally, the society at that point in time was laid out like this, that there was scope, there was room for everyone to practice Krishna consciousness, facility. There was facility provided. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ji used to say this, I believe. What? There are these two English words, na? One is uh, facilitate. uh, Facilitate. What does facilitate mean?
To make something easy.
To help arrange for something. Facilitate. Okay, it's facilitating something, so helping arrange something. Hmm? And another is felicitate. What does felicitate mean? Felicitate means to award someone, to recognize someone, to give some recognition, to give some award, that yes, he has been felicitated, honored, to honor someone. So, what is our award? What is our recognition? What is our honor? Our honor is if we can be used by Krishna, if we can be used by Mahaprabhu. Shri Shikharantai Mayapur Sashi Ki Jai. Our real honor, our real commission would be if we could be used by Mahaprabhu in facilitating this Krishna consciousness. To begin with ourselves and then to the entire universe, whosoever comes in our contact. Whosoever. If we can facilitate that Krishna consciousness in others. But in order to facilitate that, we have to meditate on ourselves. We have to work on ourselves. Work always has to be done on myself only, not on others. Always on myself. That will be our then felicitation. That is the felicitation. The more we give Krishna consciousness, the more Krishna conscious will experience. The more we give out, or the more mercy we receive, that mercy has to ooze out from us. It has to ooze out from us in our internal, external consciousness. It was not any unnatural for those citizens to be Krishna conscious. And even now, for us, we need not depend on any king, prime minister, president, or anyone, any other authority. No? It is unchecked. No? Krishna consciousness is completely unchecked. It's completely like say non-sectarian and furthermore. So it is not dependent on any material force, on our proper attitude, and we can make it all the way through. 25 text says, those who are saturated with the transcendental happiness of rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead are uninterested even in the achievements of great mystics, for such achievements do not enhance the transcendental bliss felt by a devotee who always thinks of Krishna within the core of his heart. So this is Krishna consciousness, na? To param drishtva nivartate, to bring about a transcendental change in our consciousness, to help us get attracted to the transcendental message. Hmm? Param drishtva nivartate. Param meaning transcendental. Drishtva vision. So we have to develop this transcendental vision. And naturally, as we practice Krishna consciousness in devotee association, we'll experience joy. And such joy, no comparison of that joy with society. So once we little bit discuss now what? One thing is to be engaged in the trading of coal. Coal, coal? There's a place near Les Mehego in Karuna Bhavan, ISKCON Scotland, in Les Mehego. Near Les Mehego, there is a place called as coal burn. Not far, very close. So coal, na? Coal we understand. Charcoal, coal. So one could be engaged in the trading, in the dealing with coal. Hmm? And another engaged in the trading or dealing with diamond. Which is better? Which is preferred? See, trading with coal also, you have a supplier, you have your retailer, you have your clientage and all. You deal with coal, and you check the prices and all, and what do you get? You get a commission out of it. And someone dealing in diamond, so they also have a supplier, a jewelry shop say and all, and then selling diamond the clientele, and what do we get? Commission. But given a choice, what would we prefer? To deal with coal or to deal with diamond? We have to deal with both. We cannot say that no, neither. We have to because we have to say survive ourselves. Na? We'll try to explore a bit more of this. We have to survive, so we have to, like, say, for the sustenance, maintenance of the body, body and soul together, we have to deal. Now question is, either we deal with coal, deal in coal, or deal in diamonds. Some commission we have to take. Which is preferred? Dealing in coal or dealing with diamonds? Hope it is not a very tricky or tough question. Well, I personally speaking, I don't like tricky questions. I don't know what tricky question is like, and what's the point in having a tricky question? It's not like a riddle or puzzle as such in Krishna consciousness. But simple, na? Given a choice, you go for a job. There's a job, okay, coal manager wanted. Another job, diamond manager wanted. Which job would we apply for? Which job would we like to get? Coal manager or diamond manager? Pay could well be the same. Uh, Generally speaking, I believe a rational person would go for diamond manager job, right? See, pay could well be the same, or even say pay is less in diamond. Say just for saying. But Krishna conscious, this working in coal mine and working in a diamond shop, say, or in a diamond factory, which is preferred? Un-Krishna conscious life or societal material life is exactly like working in a coal mine. You know, in England, there's a place, Sheffield. Na? It used to be earlier big coal factory and coal mine. Even now, maybe there's some of that business, perhaps. Working in coal mine, it's dirty, is it not? It's suffocating. It's dark. uh, Hands get dirty. You work in coal mine, hands get dirty. What do you get out of it? Of course, some money for maintenance of body and soul together. uh, And another side, you work in a diamond shop, a jewelry shop, hmm? A diamond warehouse or a diamond jewelry shop, na? Where, and you work there in that factory, and hands don't get dirty working with diamonds. Hands then don't get dirty. Uh, Much better condition, much better situation, and a higher sense of sense gratification, say, and hands don't at all get dirty. Hands don't get dirty. So that is Krishna consciousness. It's not that don't eat or don't sleep or don't drink or don't travel or don't work or don't study, or don't do business. No, everything, but do it Krishna conscious way. No getting hands dirty. But who will help us transition from living a filthy materialistic life where hands and feet all are tied up in mud only? Uh, It's a very gross life we live if not practicing Krishna consciousness. I may sound a bit gross, but it is the gross reality. Hmm? If we don't actually revive our original consciousness, revive our relationship with Krishna, then our hands, feet, our entire consciousness is sucked in mud only. Hands getting dirty altogether. But practicing Krishna consciousness, such a higher joy, and hands don't get dirty. So why not? Why not practice Krishna consciousness? So this is what we see, that those who are saturated with the transcendental happiness of rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead are uninterested even in the achievements of great mystics. Uninterested not just in societal sense gratification, but even in the achievements of great mystics. For such achievements do not enhance the transcendental bliss felt by a devotee who always thinks of Krishna within the core of his heart. That is Krishna consciousness, enabling us to always think of Krishna. Param Drishtva Nivartate. If we can find our fascination in this message, na Param Drishtva Nivartate, Bhagavad Gita 259, Krishna says, na Visaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehina Rasovarjam Rasopiyasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. Okay, if it is on your screen, maybe you can read the translation there.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste of a sense object remains. But, seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
But, say again, but seizing.
But, seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Param Drishtva Nivartate. That is what we aim to. We should be aiming for this only transcendental vision, transcendental glory, transcendental achievement, transcendental name, fame, transcendental body, transcendental seva, uninterrupted, transcendental realm, transcendental consciousness. Now, these are all, say, may sound just like attributes, but actually they are more than attributes. In Krishna consciousness, God is a person. Krishna is like we were trying to understand some days ago, right? What? Uh, Krishna, he's the son of Mother Yashoda. He's the son of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba. He's the friend of his sakhas in Goloka. He's the darling of gopis. So in Vrindavan, Krishna is anything but God. He's the darling of gopis. Who is Krishna? He is the son of Mother Yashoda. And who is God? God is Krishna. Krishna is not God, but God is Krishna. Krishna is not God, but God is Krishna. Who is Krishna? He is the son of Mother Yashoda. He is the darling of gopis. He is the lover of Brajvasis. That mood, that sentiment has to come about. The sooner it comes, that more charm we'll experience in practicing Krishna consciousness. How can Krishna consciousness be any dull, sorrow, morose, or like, okay, I've done enough, been doing for 5 years, 10 years? How can one think like this? Been practicing for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, read Bhagavatam, read CC, and all. What more? What next? No. If we are in good, inspiring association, never a dull moment in Krishna consciousness. Text 26. The king of this planet, Maharaja Ambarish, thus performed devotional service to the Lord and in this endeavor practiced severe austerity. Always satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his constitutional activities, he gradually gave up all material desires. Yeah, gradually elevation to Krishna consciousness. Gradually we find our feet in Krishna consciousness. Fair enough, all nice. See, in Krishna consciousness, uh, we have to respect ourselves, we have to respect our others also. So, two things. We have to give space to ourselves and we have to walk at a pace that is suitable or compatible to ourselves. And we should be giving space to others as well and helping them with their pace as well. If we don't give space to ourselves, if we do not give space to others, it will be forced. It will be a forced practice of Krishna consciousness. No good, no good. If I don't give space to myself, if I don't give space to you, It will be a forced practice. No? It will be a pressure based. Then it will be like sentimentalism, or it will be sect based, divide and sort of things and all. Societal, mundane based, perhaps some material conditioning coming along. So space is extremely important, and pace also. Pace, at a pace that is compatible enough for my advancement in the current state. And gradually we have to build it up, gradually build it up, gradually build it up all together. Maharaj Ambarish gave up all attachment to household affairs, wives, children, friends, and relatives, to the best of powerful elephants, to beautiful chariots. Imagine, he's a king, not a king of a small village, king of the entire world. And look, gave up all attachment to household affairs, wives, children, friends, and relatives, to the best of powerful elements, to beautiful chariots, carts, horses, and inexhaustible jewels, and to ornaments, garments, and an inexhaustible treasury. He gave up attachment to all of them, regarding them as temporary and material. If we have to protect something, protect our attachment. We have to protect our attachment. We can advance in Krishna conscious only when we are not too materially engrossed or attached. Otherwise, very difficult. And attachment is such an emotion, it cannot be had simultaneously in two opposing elements. We can never say, oh, I'm attached in Krishna consciousness as well, I'm attached to Krishna, and I'm attached to Maya also. Impossible. Attachment is so one pointed, na? Attachment is so focused, so one pointed. So, in good association, we can develop this attachment for the message of Krishna consciousness. Societal, we think that, oh, I'm too attached. I'm too attached to Maya. I'm too attached to maybe Netflix. I'm too attached to mm, money, things and all. But if in good association, this attachment can come about. Shrimad Bhagavatam 11:26-26 is beautiful. ततो दुसङ्गमुत्सिर्जे सत्सु सज्जितबुद्धिमान् सन्त एवाश छिन्दन्ति मनोव्यासङ्गमुक्तिभिः ततो दुसङ्गम उत्सिर्जे उत्सिर्जे meaning give up completely. What? Dusanga, faulty association, bad association. Therefore, completely give up bad association. Satsu sajjita buddhiman. Shastras, many places, they quote us as buddhiman, meaning intelligent. Expectation is from whom? From an intelligent person only, right? There's always an expectation from an intelligent person only, caliber person, and capable person. And scriptures, they address as capable, intelligent person, caliber. Satsu sajjita buddhiman. Become what you are. Uh, Such an irony. What we are, we do not live by that. And what we are not, we are wanting to be that. Wow. Is it not? What we are, pure potential, pure devotee of Krishna, pure lover of Krishna, pure souls. Uh, to be experiencing always joy, bliss, secured, calm, peace, furthermore. And what we are not, we are not this material body or matter based. But what we are not, we are so much fueling ourselves this identity crisis all together. What? Oh, nationality identity crisis, na? British, French, German, European, this, that, left wing, right wing, so many things, so many ideologies, and so many such identities we are forcing ourselves upon. Many people, especially youth, uh, throughout the world, they want to fit in. Somehow I blend in. Somehow I fit in with the society. somehow wanting to look good, somehow wanting to look cool. Worldwide, good guys want to fit in the good boys club, bad boys want to fit in the bad boys club. And all of this, why? Because of a lack of good engagement. Why do we assert like, see na, um, so many things we do in life hardly makes sense. But why do we do it? Why do we give time? Why do we give attention? Because we do not have any better, higher thing to do. We don't have any higher engagement to do. Uh, People may just walk up some streets and all, go to some community, try to say smash some windows. Why? Haven't got anything other to do, anything good to do. So what to do? Okay, let's smash some windows. This Krishna consciousness gives us a highest engagement, not a higher, highest engagement. Param drishtva nivartate. So tato dusangam utsirja satsu sajjeta buddhiman. Santa evasya chindanti. Chindanti means completely cuts off, takes away, cuts off. Santa evasya chindanti. Certainly, a devotee, a saint, will certainly tear apart, cut apart altogether. Santa evasya chindanti. Mano vyasangam ukti. This vyasan, na, vyasangam. This heavy attachment. Mano vyasangam ukti through his powerful speech. A saint, through his powerful speech, he will cut off the knots of material attachment altogether. If we associate with a devotee. So, this should be our prayer throughout, that Krishna provide me good training, provide me good association. If we are in good association, we are advancing in Krishna consciousness. Without association, no progress in Krishna consciousness. No. So if we can pray that Krishna, I need association, I need help. Now association doesn't mean okay, send me a pool of 100 devotees. When I'm in a camp of 100 devotees, I'm fine. No. Association means what? Becoming attached. Association means becoming attached. Not attached, becoming attached. We associate, na? Association means what? Dedicating ourselves. When we dedicate ourselves, then we are devoted. When we are devoted, then we develop attachment. eh? Then we become attached. Association means becoming attached. What sort of association is that where I am not becoming attached? So, association means having that heartfelt emotion, heartfelt friendship, heartfelt attachment. An attachment, na, it cannot be with many. So, we should pray that every aspiring sadhaka should pray na, to become attached to the words of his Siksha Guru, to the words of his Diksha Guru, to the message, to the love, care, concern of his Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru. Being very pleased by the unalloyed devotion of Maharaj Ambarish, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gave the king his disc. Being very pleased by the unalloyed devotion. Unalloyed, na? Unadulterated. Unalloyed means unadulterated or adulterated,
not mix.
not mix. Unalloyed, does it mean unadulterated or adulterated? So, being very pleased by the unalloyed devotion of Maharaj Ambarish, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gave the king his disc, which is fearful to enemies and which always protects the devotee from enemies and adversities. To worship Lord Krishna, Maharaj Ambarish, along with his queen, was equally qualified, observed the vow of Ekadashi and Dwadashi for 1 year. So maybe Pip can read from text 30.
Hare Krishna. In the month of Kartik, after observing a vow that vow for 1 year, after observing a fast for 3 nights, and after bathing in the Yamuna, Maharaj Ambarish worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, in Madhuvan. Following the regulative principles of Mahabhishek, Maharaj Ambarish performed the bathing ceremony for the deity of Lord Krishna with all paraphernalia, and then he dressed the deity with fine clothing, ornaments, fragrant flower garlands, and other paraphernalia for worship of the Lord. With attention and devotion, he worshipped Krishna and all the greatly fortunate Brahmanas who are free from material desires. Thereafter, Maharaj Ambarish satisfied all the guests who arrived at his house, especially the Brahmanas. He gave in charity 60 crores of cows whose horns were covered with gold plate and whose hooves were covered with silver plate. All the cows were well decorated with garments and had full milk bags. They were mild-natured, young and beautiful, and were accompanied by their calves. After giving these cows, the king first sumptuously fed all the Brahmanas, and, when they were fully satisfied, he was about to observe the end of Ekadashi, with their permission, by breaking the fast. Exactly at that time, however, Durvasa Muni, the great and powerful mystic, appeared on the scene as an uninvited guest.
Now we are entering the pastime. Okay, read a couple more maybe. Mm.
After standing up to receive Durvasa Muni, King Ambarish offered him a seat and paraphernalia of worship. Then, sitting at his feet, the king requested the great sage to eat. Durvasa Muni gladly accepted the request of Maharaj Ambarish, but to perform the regulated ritualistic ceremonies, he went to the river Yamuna. There, he dipped into the water of the auspicious Yamuna and meditated upon the impersonal Brahman. In the meantime, only Muhurta of the Dwadashi day was left on which to break the fast. Consequently, it was imperative that the fast be broken immediately. In this dangerous situation, the king consulted learned Brahmanas.
So now we have entered the pastime, I would say. So now King Ambarish, along with his wife, his good wife, good devoted wife, loyal, chaste, such exalted wife, he performed this vow of Ekadashi, observed this vow of Ekadashi for full 1 year. And in the month of Kartik, which is coming soon, after observing, it says that vow for 1 year, after observing a fast for 3 nights, and after bathing in Yamuna, Maharaj Ambarisha worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Madhuvan, Vrindavan, one of the forests there. Uh, and then he did the Abhishek, he dressed the deities, arranged for prasadam, everything, gave charity to the Brahmanas, him and his wife. Uh, After 1 year of practicing Ekadashi, observing the fast of Ekadashi, and on Dwadashi, it says text 35, right? Mm, that he was about to observe the end of Ekadashi, seeking the permission of the Vaishnavas, of the Brahmanas, by breaking the fast. First of all, he satisfied all the guests who arrived. He gave charity, eh, everything, and then he was uh, about to break the fast. Eh, He was about to break the fast. Now, see, glorious are those who get a turning point in life. You know, in our lives, we have received so many turning points. We have received, but we fail to notice. We fail to notice. We fail to appreciate. If we can notice, then we fail to appreciate a turning point. Here in a turning point, right? that the king and his wife, very nicely dressed, the whole mood is so vibrant, so jolly. 1 year, the king is now going to break this fast of Ekadashi, presuming with king. Of course, the king is never alone, his whole entourage and saints and brahmanas. And with the king, some others might have fasted, some family members, and furthermore, and all. Hmm? And such a good mood. King is giving charity, he's very kind hearted, he's giving charity, brahmanas chanting and everything. Hmm? And what happens? Ta-ta-na-na-na-na. Exactly at the time, this is what the translation says, right? He was about to observe the end of Ekadashi with their permission by breaking the fast. Exactly at that time, however, exactly at that time, however, Durvasa Muni, the great and powerful mystic, appeared on the scene as an uninvited guest. Right? So, after standing up to receive Durvasa Muni, King Ambarish offered him a seat and paraphernalia of worship. Then, sitting at his feet, the king requested the great sage to eat. And Durvasa gladly accepted the request of Maharaja Ambarisha, but to perform the regulative ritualistic ceremonies, he went to the river Yamuna. There he dipped into the water of the auspicious Yamuna and meditated upon the impersonal Brahman. So let us pause a bit here uh, and see. So uh, this the king is now a turning point. Na? He is about to break his fast and an uninvited guest appears. Who is the guest? A powerful mystic. Powerful. Uh, Brahmana. He's a Brahmana. He's a powerful mystic. Powerful yogi. Durvasa Muni appears. Not just alone, with his disciples. 10,000 odd disciples. He comes. Hmm, to knows na that the king he and his wife observing this fast vow of Ekadashi, which is coming to fruition and all. So to give darshan, say he appears. Now, turning point na this uninvited, beautiful na such uninvited. In our lives also we receive so many uninvited calls, uninvited messages, uninvited emails, uninvited incidents, what not. It may seem it is uninvited, but it is all invited. Who is inviting? My karma and my desires are only inviting them. It may appear it is uninvited, but if we are in good association with good faith, then Krishna is using that karma and say desire and giving it a good, proper Krishna conscious bhakti touch. In the sense, Parikshit Maharaj we see in Shrimad Bhagavatam, the very first canto. Parikshit Maharaj, he was a ruler, he was a king, great Krishna conscious ruler, not just pious, not just good ruler, great Krishna conscious devotee ruler, Parikshit Maharaj. What happens one fine day? He goes to forest for hunting, for sports. Fine, and he goes with his again not alone with his ministers and other army and some soldiers, maybe small, but still he goes. Yeah, not alone. And what in the forest in the woods he loses track, he loses path. He separates with them, he gets separated from them. Fine, furthermore, it's daytime and he starts feeling very thirsty. He starts feeling very thirsty. Now, in this thirst, he sees some ashram there. He goes to one of the ashram. And a sage sitting in the ashram, he's in sadhana, in deep meditation. He's in, say, in trance, eyes closed, very still body, still consciousness, still mind. And the king is there. And the king is thinking, what is this? I have come to your ashram and look at this sage. He is doing a mockery, or he's trying to show himself off. He's doing a show off that I'm such a big sage, I'm such a great sage, I'm so saintly. Hmm? Look at my meditation, look at my sadhana. He's not seeing that I am the king, king of the entire universe, king of the entire world. I give you shelter, I give you protection, everything. I have come here, I'm so thirsty, but there is no proper welcome, there is no proper treatment. This Brahmana, he has lost his culture. What does the king do? He sees a dead snake there. In ashram, in forest and all, no big deal having a dead snake there. He sees a dead snake there. What does he do? That this sage, Ramana, so far he has been garlanded. Throughout his life, say he has been garlanded. He again needs to be garlanded. Parikshit Maharaj thinks like that. He again needs to be garlanded. He's used to garland, na? So he needs to be garlanded. What does he do? He picks that dead snake and garlands that dead snake on the sage. That Mr. Sage, you are used to garlands now. You like garlands, take this garland. This is the appropriate proper garland. Of course, he did not say any of this, but this I am trying to help myself say. There could be these thoughts are coming or this situation. No? So he garlands that sage with that dead snake. Now the sage doesn't get disturbed. He's still in his tapasya. He's still in remembering Lord Shri Krishna in the impersonal Brahman meditation. Shri Shikhorantai Mayapur Sashi Ki. So the sage, he doesn't get disturbed. But Parikshit Maharaj, he gets disturbed and all. And later on, what happens? The Brahmanas, the sage's son, the sage's boy, his son, he gets to know such a such thing has happened. Hmm? He was in a river, pond, lake, river, taking swim, bath with his friends, and he gets to know, your father, this king came and he did this thing to your father. And the Brahmana's boy, Shringi, he curses the king. He says, oh, this king, he's so puffed up. He's very proud, very puffed up. He curses the king and he says, okay, king, you have done this to my father. You will meet death in 7 days. Hmm? A snake, Takshak Nag, a snake is going to come and take away your life. So Parikshit Maharaj, the king, got this news as well. And this was what? A turning point in his life. A turning point. In order to advance, if we want to advance, we have to come across turning points in our. Otherwise, how do we advance? Currently, we are not advancing towards Krishna, right? Currently, we are not going in that on the way to Krishna, say. And it's only when we some turning point, some message comes our life, then we can turn ourselves, we can take shelter of Krishna. Now, what happened in Parikshit Maharaj is not like karma playing or desire playing. Huh? He's a transcendental personality. That is Krishna's direct intervention, direct arrangement for him, Parikshit Maharaj, to get him closer. That can be said that Krishna is experiencing separation from Parikshit Maharaj, so he wants him home. But for us, whatever happens, it's because of our karmic reaction and our mundane desires. However, practicing Krishna consciousness in association of devotees, those karmic reaction, those mundane desires can be transcendentalized. They can be channelized, they can be put in the path of transcendence. Similar for Arjuna also we see he was in the middle of that battlefield and he got confused. 13 years he waited for this day to come to fight. 13 years huh, with his brothers. So much of like patience, so much of build up, so much of build up. And finally the day came that he could engage in this war, satisfy his mother's pain, his wife's pain, all of this, satisfy his vows and everything. And seeing that in that war situation, he's reeling. His mind is reeling, he's depressed, he's confused. What do I do? So that was a turning point directly arranged by Krishna for him. So that through Parikshit Maharaj, through Arjuna, we can get educated how to be Krishna conscious. And here, through Ambarish Maharaj, how to be Krishna conscious, we can get educated. Durvasa Muni was not asked for, he wasn't formally say invited. Although a sadhu, a brahmana as such, we'll see sadhu or what, but we'll see. A brahmana as such doesn't need an invitation. But it says, na, the great soul, the great and powerful mystic appeared on the scene as an uninvited guest. And that is when when reality strikes, we get to know ourselves, how Krishna conscious we are, how much Krishna conscious we are. How long does it take us to get angry? Just at the flip of a finger, snap of a finger. Yeah. How long does it take us to get upset? How long does it take us to get disturbed? We might have such a great morning program the whole day, evening time, something slightly salty prasadam might get angry. No, there could be something. Na? How long does it take? Na? So when reality strikes, so if Krishna consciousness is very internal, uh, change has to be internal, change has to be for oneself, within oneself. So herein, after 1 year of practicing, observing this vow of Ekadashi, now everyone assembled, him and his wife, wanting, desiring to break this fast, and having entertained the Brahmanas, given them gifts in charity, chanting hymns, everything going on. Here comes Durvasa Muni with his band of thousand and thousand odd disciples. And the king receives him very nicely, offered him a seat and paraphernalia of worship, and says, kindly honor Prasadam. Durvasa Muni says, yes, we'll honor, thank you. But first, we'll do our Gayatri, we'll do our noon time Gayatri. So, for doing that, first we'll go in Yamuna river, Mother Yamuna, and we'll in Yamuna river, we'll take a bath, and then after our Gayatri is done, we'll come and take Prasad. Now, king, he's not giving a lesson to his to the Brahmana. Na? He could have well said to the Brahmana, right, that Mr. Brahmana, your Gayatri and all this you are doing, I have a fast to break here. Can you adjust? Can you? It's not a good culture. It's not a good etiquette to give instruction to a Brahmana as such. Na? Look, the king, how humble he is. He's the king, so Krishna conscious. But he's not like, he's maintaining that culture and etiquette. Na? He could have easily said something. He could have instructed. Many times in life we see that we end up becoming an instructor only. This is wrong, this is right, you should do like this, you shouldn't do like that. Entire life may become, na, practicing Krishna consciousness, what? We end up becoming just instructors. And sometimes unwanted instructors. Huh? Sometimes we just take on this position that I am your mentor, guide, this and that, whatnot. Hmm. You should do the sadhana like this, you should do sadhana like that, furthermore, and all whatnot. So let us read a couple more actually and see more. So 438 says, in the meantime, only a Muhurat of the Dwadasi day was left on which to break the fast. Just moments say. Consequently, it was imperative that the fast be broken immediately. Muhurat, na? Just now. In this dangerous situation, the king consulted learned Brahmanas. Blessed are those who have sages round their corner. Hmm? Who do we have round the corner? Chat GPT. Something, na? Chat GPT is called, or chat some Google say, or something. But the king, he consulted the Brahmanas. He had Brahmanas there, and what to do in this situation. The king said, To transgress the laws of respectful behavior toward the Brahmanas is certainly a great offense. Hmm? He did not transgress this law of educating the Brahmana. He in his heart he thought himself, what? Oh, I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a king. Uh, and he's Brahmana, he's so elevated. How can I give him any moral lesson? No. So, to transgress the laws of respectful behavior toward the Brahmanas is certainly a great offense. On the other hand, if one does not observe the breaking of the fast within the time of Dwadashi, there is a flaw in one's observance of the vow. Therefore, O Brahmanas, if you think that it will be auspicious and not irreligious, I shall break the fast by drinking water. In this way, after consulting with the Brahmanas, the king reached this decision. For according to the Brahminical opinion, drinking water may be accepted as eating and also as not eating. O best of the Kuru dynasty, after he drank some water, King Ambarish, meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, waited for the return of the great mystic Durvasa Muni. After executing the ritualistic ceremonies to be performed at noon, Durvasa returned from the bank of the Yamuna. Dun, 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 dun. The king received him well, offering all respects, but this is a big but, by the way. But Durvasa Muni, by his mystic power, could understand that King Ambarish had drunk water without his permission. Da, 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 da. Still hungry, Durvasa Muni, his body trembling, his face curved and his eyebrows crooked in a frown, angrily spoke as follows to King Ambarish, who stood before him with folded hands. Who stood before him with folded hands. Alas, just see the behavior of this cruel man. This is, by the way, Durvasa Muni. Muni, na? Durvasa Muni, this sage. Uh, uh, Speaking to the king. Alas, just see the behavior of this cruel man. He is not a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Being proud of his material opulence and his position, he considers himself God. Just see how he has transgressed the laws of religion. Maharaj Ambarisha, you have invited me to eat as a guest, but instead of feeding me, you yourself have eaten first. Because of your misbehavior, I shall show you something to punish you. So let us do some kirtan now. Let's not go more what Durvasa Muni is saying. And let's see tomorrow what he has got to show. He says, "Na, I shall show you something to punish you." So let's not go so much. I think we have entered into the pastime. We understand Ambarish Maharaj practiced this vow of Ekadashi with his good wife and others say for one full year, and respecting the Brahmanas, he is giving charity to the Brahmanas. He is wanting to honor this vow of Ekadashi, not break fast because of hunger or something, or to respect Ekadashi, to respect the vow of Ekadashi. And at that time, on that moment, at that scene, a sage named as Durvasa Muni appears, uninvited. Uh, uh, exactly at that time appears. Hmm. He was about to observe the end of Ekadashi. However, again, this is a big however, exactly at that time, Durvasa Muni, the great and powerful mystic, appeared on the scene as an uninvited guest. And then further on, uh, this is what the Muni has assumed or is saying, thinking and saying that just see the behavior of this cruel man. The Muni is referring to King Ambarish. Just see the behavior of this cruel man. You've invited me to eat as a guest, but instead of feeding me, you yourself have eaten first. Because of your misbehavior, I shall show you something to punish you. I don't think so. We need to see this tonight, what he is going to show the king to punish him. Let's leave this, say, punishment or this showing sort of business. Now, this I shall show you something, I shall show you something. No, no. Let us now see the deities and chant for the pleasure of the Lordship and his pure devotees. भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगिर नाम रे भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगिर नाम रे भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगिर नाम रे जय जना गौरांग भजे से होय अमर प्राण रे जय जना गौरांग भजे से होय अमर प्राण रे भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगिर नाम रे भज गौरांग बोलिया दुबाहु तुलिया गौरांग बोलिया गौरांग बोलिया दुबाहु तुलिया नाचिया नाचिया बेड़ाओ रे गौरांग बोलिया दुबाहु तुलिया नाचिया नाचिया बेड़ाओ रे गौरांग बोलिया दुबाहु तुलिया नाचिया नाचिया बेड़ाओ रे भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगिर नाम रे भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगिर नाम रे जय जना गौरांग भजे से हो अमर प्राण रे गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले दुखेर अवसान रे
दुखेरा अवसान रे
गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले है दुखेर अवसान रे
गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले है दुखेरा अवसान रे
गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले है दुखेर अवसान रे
गौरांग भजिले गौरांग जपिले दुखेरा अवसान रे
भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांगीर नाम रे भज
गौरांगा कह गौरांगेर नाम रे
जय जना गौरांग भजे से हो अमर प्राण रे
जय जन गौरांगा भजे से होय अमर प्राण रे
जय जना गौरांग भजे से हो अमर प्राण रे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranika, 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 Jaya Gauranika.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranika, 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 Jaya Gauranika.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranika, 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 Jaya Gauranika.
Shri Gauranitai Bhagwan ki.
Jai.
Okay. Let us see. So, Durvasa Muni is saying, I shall show you something to punish you. No, we don't see what he's showing. Let's see, maybe let's. Maharaj Ambarish, you have invited me to eat as a guest, but instead of feeding me, you yourself have eaten first. Because of your misbehavior, I shall show you something to punish me. No, let's not see. Let's not see this tonight. We try to have a peaceful night tonight. Let's not see what he's going to bring up. Say. But let us just see until here. See this turning point coming about in the life of Ambarish Maharaj. Now look, turning point came in the life of Arjuna. And that turning point, he made it a complete Krishna conscious turning point and attained pure Krishna consciousness. Turning point coming in the life of Parikshit Maharaj. That turning point, he made it a complete Krishna conscious turning point and attained perfection, pure Krishna consciousness. Turning point came in the life of Dhruva Maharaj. Turning point came in the life of Dhruva Maharaj as well, when he was spoken very insulting, harsh, cutting words by whom? By his stepmother. When his father did not react as he should be reacting, and when he was uncalled for, uninvited, right? The words coming from the mouth of Suruchi towards Dhruva Maharaj, were they invited? No, they were uninvited. However, suddenly they just came about. Just like here we see, Durvasa Muni came to the scene as an uninvited guest. So, turning point came in the life of, just as Dhruva Maharaj was ascending to go to his father's lap. Just as he was going, how much space was he wanting, say? As he was going to his father's lap, what big was he wanting? No. But at that point, a turning point came about, which then he took it towards a Krishna conscious turning point. Krishna conscious turning point. No? A turning point came in everyone's life. Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, turning point came in his life. For Ambarish Maharaj, we see a turning point coming in his life, and we'll see further how he makes it a pure Krishna conscious event. So, this is Krishna consciousness. We will come across many events in our life. Now, in good association, with good prayer, with good desire, with good attitude, we have to pray to make each and every event to be a Krishna conscious event. What does Krishna consciousness mean? In simple, see, this may sound a bit technical language, na? Krishna consciousness. What does it mean? Krishna consciousness means seeing the joy of the divine couple. Krishna consciousness means we pray that Radha Krishna, my dear Radha Krishna, you ever remain happy. My dear Radha Krishna, you ever enjoy the company of each other. My dear Radha Krishna, you always be in the company of each other. My dear Radha Krishna, you always relish the company of each other. My dear Radha Krishna, you always relish, be peaceful, you be safe from all the calamities. That is Krishna consciousness. To pray for the security of the divine couple. That is Krishna consciousness. Yeah? To look for the joy of the divine couple. To make them happy. It's not that they are not happy, but somehow if I can be a facilitator, yeah? If Guru Maharaj can use me as a facilitator, Yog Maya, if she can see us, see, Yog Maya is seeing us from high up in the sky, who are acting as facilitators and who are wanting to be felicitators. Those who are wanting to be felicitators, okay, you stay here only. You are after name, fame, and all, you stay here, continue. Shishikorantai, Mayapur, Sashi Ki Chem. But those who are after facilitating, facilitating more and more Krishna conscious opening, then Yog Maya can pick. Yes, you have got the message, you have got the attitude, you have got the what is required. So come, can you help in the facilitating the meeting of the divine couple? That is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness means what? Seeing the joy of Guru and Gaura, seeing the blessedness of Guru and Gaura, seeing their beauty, experiencing, relishing, admiring, cherishing. That is Krishna consciousness. That expressing our love, the joy of loving someone, the joy of giving to someone. Such a joy that we give ourselves to someone. The joy of losing our heart to someone. The joy of giving ourselves to someone. So the joy of giving ourselves to Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness. Now Ambarish Maharaj, turning point has come in his life, right? For us also, we get so many turning points, but because of, we have faith, but if you don't mind me saying, because of lack of good inspiring association, that faith does not fructify fully. And then where do we go? We turn towards self-help books, maybe. They help, but they don't tell us who the self is. How can they help then? No? If we don't know who am I, what best help can I be given? If someone doesn't tell me you are a spirit soul, you are not this body, you are not this material body, you are not this mind also. You are a spiritual identity, spiritual being, spiritual entity. You have a loving relationship with Radha Krishna. You are Radha Krishna's. That has to be understood. Then help can be there. Hmm? So there are many. The world, na world is full of instructors, educators, friends, family members. You see, oh, I tell you something. You do this, you do that. And in West, it works in a subtle way. In West, no one gives instructions or teachings as such. It perhaps works in a subtle way. In India, it works more in a direct way. Say. Hmm? So there are many who are wanting to help us, but they don't tell us who you are. But take all this help. Well, first tell me who am I, then give help. And there are others, some who actually tell us who you are, but they don't help us in the service of the divine couple. Meaning what? You are light, you are hope, you are valuable, you are precious, you are spirit self, you are self effulgent, you are divine, you are light, you are all of this, but they don't help us in serving the divine couple. But Bhagavatam, it satisfies everything. Bhagavatam so sweetly satisfies everything. So turning point has come in Ambarish Maharaja's life we see here. It comes in everyone's life, in our lives as well, maybe big or small, but it does come. And every event is a good event. We have to realize this. Every event is a good event. Rather, every event is a Krishna conscious event, or can be a Krishna conscious event, or has to be made a Krishna conscious event. Otherwise we will be stuck with good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. This is good, this is bad, this is or right and wrong, right and wrong. This is right, this is wrong, this is right. Written. It's better if we see things as event, not as such good, bad, perhaps, or right, wrong. And if we can dovetail our consciousness that yes, this is a Krishna conscious event. Every event is a Krishna conscious event. Every event is there to lead us onto the track of Krishna consciousness. Gradually, here we read na few verses ago that Maharaja Ambarish gradually performed devotional service and scaled it up, scaled it up, scaled it up. Likewise, we have to scale up each and every event, giving a direction towards Krishna conscious event until we come to a stage of attachment wherein it becomes an absolute Krishna conscious event for us. So, with this mood, with this desire, with this prayer, seeking your blessings, we give our attempt to studying Srimad Bhagavatam a rest here. We'll continue tomorrow. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल।
Bhakta Ashis Prabhu ki jai.